everybody, it's EK from EK Gorman Designs, and I'm coming in today with a Halloween card for my 2017 Halloween series. Today's card features pumpkin faces inspired by stamping. I'll go ahead and warn you that the stamp set is retired. Doesn't matter, I like it anyway. So I stamped out two of the pumpkins today with Distress Oxides on some watercolor paper. I decided to watercolor with oxides today's card. I don't know, just see how well oxides would actually watercolor. I haven't actually tried them. So I used 4 colors to create the pumpkins. I used the Vintage Photo, the Wild Honey, Spice Marmalade, and a little candy apple. Pulled out my good water brush, and I pulled out a big one. I'm trying to paint with a bigger brush. I used to only use a little one, and yeah, bigger's better. It keeps me from being fussy. It keeps me from being, from overthinking everything. The big one allows me to just drop color in and move on and keep going. By no means am I a watercoloring expert. If you're looking for expert advice on watercoloring, then I would recommend you change the channel immediately. I enjoy watercoloring. I like to think I'm not terrible at it, but I am no means the person you should be listening to for expert advice. There, my disclaimer is done. But I like the way the colors laid out today. I forgot to heat between the 2 pumpkins so they bled a little bit. So I learned my lesson and made certain to really, really heat set between layers, which I don't do with my watercolors. But with the oxides, they tend to be a little runnier than I want them to be with each other. Maybe because they're right next to each other today. I wasn't able, anyway, I heat set things between layers because I needed to. I don't know, this is a little bit different for me. I'm so used to creating a giant scene with my Copic markers that when I move away from my Copics, I tend to get a little lost and not know exactly where I want to go because I don't have that control of my marker. I think I'm going to force myself to watercolor a little bit more just because I need the skill set. I need to strengthen it. And there's no way to strengthen a skill set unless you're physically doing it. And for those people who find that they only sit and watch and never do, your skill sets will never strengthen. I can attest to this 100% because I was that person for a very long time that would watch and not actually pull out the materials and do. So, don't just sit and watch YouTube. Get cool ideas, steal them, make them your own, and then use them. So for the ground, I wanted to put in a nice shadow. So I pulled out the black soot and the Vintage Photo and started dropping in color onto the ground to see if I could create a cool shadow from the pumpkins. A cool shadow from the pumpkins, in addition to a nice ground layer that made sense for the pumpkins to be sitting on. Oh, and by the way, I told you I wanted to watercolor with the oxides and see how they did. They really do a nice job. I mean, they really blend beautifully with each other, and with the exception of you really needing to heat set it, they do a nice job. So the fun thing about this stamp set is it has little, I don't know, for lack of a better word, googly eyes and mouths. It has the carvings that you would put on a pumpkin. So, and there's multiple, there's all kinds. So you're able to have fun little jack-o'-lanterns. Which, let's be honest, it's Halloween. Fun little jack-o'-lanterns are awesome. Everybody needs a nice, and we all take ourselves too seriously some days. So this card was an attempt to stop taking myself so seriously. I did put a layer of black soot over the archival ink, mainly because my archival ink's dry, and the black wasn't stamping out as good as I wanted it to, and the black soot was right there. I thought in the beginning I wanted this to be a no-line watercoloring project, but then I put the eyes on in black, and the weight of the pumpkin just disappeared. So I pulled out my I think this is a small fiber pastel pen, and heat and drew back in the lines, sort of. Like, got as close as I could. And all of a sudden the eyes didn't seem like they were so glaring. The black on the eyes wasn't so obvious, and well, for lack of a better word, awful. To me, it was awful. And then I put the lines back in, and everything started making sense. So I grabbed the Salty Ocean Distress Oxide and just kind of dropped in a very quick background here. Nothing fancy, just some color behind the pumpkins to live, so it wasn't just this stark white behind everything. And again, I'm really kind of impressed with how well I was able to make the oxides move along my watercolor paper. I'd go so far to say I might think they work a little better than just the Distress inks in watercoloring. And now I feel like I need to pull the two of them out and do a side-by-side comparison. So maybe someday soon, I will do a side-by-side comparison for everybody so they can see what the difference is between the two. Again, I heat set the wet, and now you get to see me do an experiment. When I'm really doing cards for just myself, I tend to actually do things to experiment. I've gotten this Nuvo bottle of clear, shiny droplet ink. I think they're called crystals. I don't know. It's not near me, and I don't have it right. Sorry. But it looks a lot like Glossy Accents, and they make really, if you don't know Nuvo drops, they make really incredible, like, round drops on paper, and they dry beautifully and shiny. But I was wondering if this would work like Glossy Accents, where you could fill in an image and have this nice shiny image. So I thought I'd do a side-by-side comparison today of the two. I will go ahead and spoil everything, let you know what I think while you're watching me fill in these gaps. The Nuvo keeps its texture. The pumpkin I did with the Nuvo is very much textured and didn't form a nice smooth layer. So no, it does not do what the Glossy Accents does and create this beautiful, shiny, smooth surface. It also came out of the bottle. It didn't come out as smooth, and I wasn't able to move it as quickly. So yes, I will be sticking with Glossy Accents when I want to do an entire overlay of shiny plastic material on my cards. However, I'm really excited about these Nuvo drops because they leave such great dimensional drops, and they're clear. So come, with winter card making season on the horizon, yay, we've got nice clear snowdrops and icicles able to put onto cards. I will tell you, after I finished filming, I realized there was something missing from the card, so I pulled out my white jelly pen and filled in both the eyes and the teeth with white jelly pen, and I think everything popped a whole lot better. I just didn't get it on camera, so full disclosure. I'm flicking the back of the card, trying to get the Nuvo to lay smooth. Yeah, you can even see in the close-up. It's chunky. I added the sentiment from Crafting Desert Divas and some of those black Nuvo drops, and added a nice piece of cardstock paper underneath and called it a day. Hope you enjoyed today's card. Thanks for watching. Click the dragon if you want to subscribe, and come back and see me next time. Bye.